Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into Truth FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hansen the represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into Truth FM 96.1.
Good evening, RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Marka Davis. In the headlines, majority bloc of the House of Representatives defies the Supreme Court's writ of prohibition, which ordered them to stop all activities leading to the removal of House Speaker Funati Kopa, including holding a separate section. The Liberia National Police, with immediate effect, dismisses 2 officers for gross misconduct. Program Director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor denies newspaper reports linking him to threatening to kill individuals who are creating unrest in the United Methodist Church, dismisses the report as not only false but also misleading. And of the home front, at least 40 Chadian soldiers have been killed after their base was attacked on Sunday evening, the presidency says. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. The majority bloc of the House of Representatives has defied the Supreme Court's writ of prohibition, which ordered them to stop all activities leading to the removal of Speaker Funati Kopa, including holding a separate section. On Tuesday, the majority bloc instead set up a judiciary committee to meet with the justice presiding in chamber, Associate Justice Yamin Bese, for a conference. Justice Betse recently granted the alternative writ of prohibition as prayed for by Speaker Kopa, seeking to prevent ongoing efforts to oust him. Speaker Kopa on Tuesday was speaking Tuesday in response to the writ of prohibition. Representative James Kohler of the anti-Kopa bloc clarified that the writ does not prohibit them from holding regular sections. Rather, it prevents them from removing the speaker. He cited Article 40 of the Liberian Constitution, which states that no house shall adjoin in the absence of the other. He further emphasized that Article 3, which addresses the separation of powers. Representative Kohler also referenced a 2018 writ of prohibition issued by then Justice in Chambers, Sianen Yo, which was disregarded by the plenary under the supervision of now Speaker Kopa as chair on judiciary, who advised his colleagues not to honor the writ. However, Representative James Kohler stated that the majority bloc respects the rule of law and that there is no prohibition against them They have simply been called for a conference which they will attend. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives, or House Speaker Fonati Kofa, continues to face challenges in conducting regular sessions due to continuous lack of quorum. During the latest section on Tuesday, only 28 members were present, while 2 were absent. Given the insufficient attendance, the Speaker had no choice but to adjourn the section. Speaking to legislative reporters following the premature adjournment, a staunch supporter of the Speaker, Representative Frank Safoko, appealed to his colleagues from the majority bloc to join them in a mid-chamber to seek redress to their concerns. Representative Foko also called on the Liberian people to appeal to their lawmakers to come to section to do the work of the country. The Liberia National Police has with immediate effect dismissed 2 officers for gross misconducts. The officers are Assistant Commissioner of Police Sam Bala and Augustine Ben. The officers' dismissal, according to an LMP press release, followed recommendations from the Special Investigation Team of the Professional Standard Division on allegation of impropriety of the officers. The release stated that on October 12, 2024, at about 6 p.m., patrolman Augustine Ben and then suspended officer Sensi Masakwe unlawfully entered the premises of Luxury Hotel in the Thinker Village community in Pinzo, intimidated and arrested victims Dean Myean and Levan Tu under the instruction of Commissioner Sam Bala. The officers invaded the privacy of the victims without any legal instrument, resulting to the arrest, seizure of their properties and some documents and cash in the amount of 24,000 United States dollars, of which 12,000 was unaccounted for. The action of the officers, according to the release, violates Category 1 and 2 offenses, which are tantamount to abuse of authority, harassment of civilians, and intimidation, and violate Section 16.1.3, 6.1.19, and 6.4 of the LMP Administrative Instructions on Discipline and Professional Standards as enshrined in the Liberia National Police Disciplinary Regulation of 2016. The release further stated that the dismissed officers have been turned over to the Crime Service Department for criminal investigation to be forwarded to court based on further recommendation from the Professional Standards Division. The program director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor has denied newspaper reports linking him to threat to kill individuals who are creating unrest in the United Methodist Church in Liberia. Recently, the New Democrat newspaper, under the caption "Bishop Choir Ally Threatens to Massacre Members for Standing Against Same-Sex Marriage," reported that Jefferson Knight has hatched a plan to kill those against same-sex marriage in the United Methodist Church. But addressing a press conference in Monrovia on Tuesday, the Monitor's program director, Jefferson Knight, who is also the vice president of the Kakata Farmington District Men Organization of the church, said the story is not only inaccurate but also misleading and does not reflect any of his beliefs. Jefferson Knight added that there is no time that he threatened any United Methodists rejecting same-sex marriage in the church. According to Knight, the United Methodist Church is not a gay church and believes that marriage is a union between a man and a woman. You are listening to a bulletin of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In more news tonight, River County Senator Francis Dopo has written plenary requesting an instruction to the executive regarding B Mountain Mining Corporation's tax exemption. Senator Dopo said his communication is directed to a matter of significance concerning the fiscal integrity of the nation and the equitable treatment of all stakeholders in the mining industry. According to him, the exemption granted to B Mountain Mining Corporation under Section 24.2A road user charges of the First Amendment to the restated and amended Mineral Development Agreement is inconsistent with the overarching principles enshrined in the Liberia Revenue Code. Senator Dopo said Section 17 of the code, which speaks to fiscal stabilization, along with Section 16, The anti-avoidance rule underscores the necessity for a uniform application of the taxation framework. He said the exemption provided will be mounting on road user charges, which are critical for the maintenance of the very roads utilized by their operations, poses an inherent inequality in the mining sector. Such an exemption, according to him, does not only undermine the revenue that could be generated for the maintenance of essential infrastructure, but also creates an unleveled playing field for others. The Riverview County Senator is therefore calling on the Liberian Senate to notify the executive through the Minister of Finance to recharacterize the aforementioned exemption in order to align it with the fiscal policies and regulations of the country. The communication was read by Senate Secretary Nabala Singbe during the 41st day sitting of the Liberian Senate. Upon reading the communication, the Senate passed a motion that the communication be sent to the committees on mines and energy and judiciary for further deliberations. A group under the ban that concerned residents of District 4 in Maserati County has threatened to impeach their representative, Marka Thomas, if he fails to remove his signature from the resolution seeking to remove House Speaker Fonati Kofa. Representative Marka Thomas is among 43 lawmakers under the banner majority bloc seeking the removal of Speaker Kofa on allegation of corruption, conflict of interest, among others. Speaking Tuesday when it staged a protest at the home of the lawmaker, the group, through its chairperson Solomon Sims, said the lawmaker and his colleagues' decision is stalling the progress of the country. According to him, it is disturbing to hear leaders elected to adequately represent their people being involved into alleged act of bribery to remove one of their colleagues for their selfish gains. Sims added that since Representative Thomas' election in 2023, he has failed to be accountable to his constituents. The group, meanwhile, threatened to rally the signatures of 10,000 residents of the district to impeach their lawmaker if he fails to remove his signature and exonerate himself from the allegation of bribery. Save the Children Liberia has donated 493 school kits to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection in support of its Child Save the Future from Streets to School project. Presenting the materials on behalf of Save the Children Liberia, the country director, Madam Mercy Gichuhi, said the donation is part of their commitment in helping the ministry to take as many children off the streets. Madam Gichuhi noted that the fight against the increasing number of street children requires a collaborative effort. As such, Save the Children will continue to work with the Ministry of Gender in such direction. She meanwhile urged the ministry to give the items to beneficiaries across the country. Receiving the items on behalf of the ministry, Deputy Minister for Children and Social Protection, Gamin Toba, extended thanks and appreciation to Save the Children for their continuous support to the children of Liberia. According to Minister Toba, the donation will be a long way, or will go a long way in supporting the ministry's efforts, especially for kids who will be taken from the streets and sent to schools across the country. She promised that the school materials will be used for the intended purpose and a report will be made to Save the Children on the number of beneficiaries. The program was graced by representatives of partnering organizations, including Give Direct, SOS, Children Protection Network, and Street Child Liberia. And away from Liberia, at least 40 Chadian soldiers are being killed after their base was attacked on Sunday evening, the presidency says. President Marka Davis has ordered a counter mission to track down the culprits, according to a statement from his office. The attack reportedly happened on an island called Bakarium in a vast marsh region that was once covered by the waters of Lake Chad before its dramatic shrinking in recent decades. No suspects for Sunday's attack were named in the president's statement, but the area is close to the border zones of Nigeria and Niger, where Islamist militants are known to operate. Latest UN figures indicate more than 220,000 people have been forced from their homes following years of insecurity and violence from armed groups. Sunday's attack is one of the worst suffered by Chadian soldiers since 2020, when about 100 soldiers died in a raid which prompted then-President Idris Deby to launch an operation against Islamist militants. Local residents have told the AFP news agency they believe fighters from Boko Haram, an Islamist militant group based over the border in Nigeria, were to blame for this latest attack and say at least 200 soldiers were stationed at the garrison at the time. The attackers had time to seize ammunition and equipment before they left, according to AFP news agency. To end this bulletin, a recap of the headlines. Majority bloc of the House of Representatives defies the Supreme Court's writ of prohibition for separate section on Tuesday, as they also set up a committee to meet with the justice in chamber. Liberia National Police, with immediate effect, dismisses 2 officers for gross misconduct. Program Director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor denies newspaper report linking him to threatening to kill individuals who are creating unrest in the United Methodist Church. And of the home front, at least 40 Chadian soldiers have been killed after their base was attacked on Sunday evening, according to the presidency. That's RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Marka Davis.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel?
The black